Hi, this is Dan. I just want to ask you something that's been bothering me more and more lately. I want to ask you if when you look on social media, for example, when you scroll down on Facebook, when you turn on the television, when you listen to the radio, when you read the news on any newspaper, basically when you get input signals from the matrix, which are everywhere. Have you noticed an increase in the sense of it all being, you know, something that makes you feel like you want to vomit? Have you noticed that it's starting to make you feel almost sick to the core of your being? That you just simply, you have it to up until here, that you just cannot absorb another second of it. Do you know those moments? I don't have it always, but I think that in recent times it is becoming more and more like that for me. As some of you know, I have converted to Christianity some time ago, in December 2018, and it has changed my life in many ways. Most of it, if not all of it, for the better. But on a few points, it's becoming more challenging. And that has to do with being in this world that is so corrupt, especially the mediated world. Wherever I look, I feel like I am seeing lies and deception, manipulated truth. I used to believe quite a bit of the media stories, and I think some of them are still true, but much of it is so fake, it's so pumped up, it's so distorted, it's so untruthful, and it's so deceitful that it's hard to bear. E.g. the stories about the 5G rollout, the rollout of the 5G mobile network system that is being rolled out all over the world these years. Without public consent, without public discussion. That entire rollout, that entire situation of surrounding the 5G, to me is one of the most startling and most worrisome examples of what I'm talking about here. This feeling of being spoon-fed lies. Because when I see articles about 5G here in Denmark, I just read one a few seconds ago, or minutes ago, which was the one that, the famous last drop. I just had to say something, I had to talk about this just to get it out of my system. And it was just another deceptive piece about 5G where the writer was kind of going close to some of the issues, but of course ends up with dismissing everything, all of the worries about 5G, and ending up the article with saying, well, I'm going to use my cell phone until that it's proven that it's dangerous. And by that he disregards volumes and volumes and volumes of independent studies, industry independent studies, and he just disregards that and concludes the conclusion that the industry wants him to conclude, which is that there's really no problem. It's just in the mind of them. They're all silly. Yeah, there might be something with some mice getting cancer and stuff, but it's not that serious. And they are always saying the same thing too in these types of articles, which is that well, just because mice gets it, it doesn't mean that human gets it. And that's a radical new direction within science, because until now, up until this point, we have, taken many decisions based on animal testing. It is the primary way to test anything, because if animals suffer or develops disease, usually a precautionary principle says that indicates that the human beings might be in a high risk for doing the very same thing. But all of that, of course, is completely disregarded, and suddenly there's no danger in that anymore, and it's not really that bad. It's just mice, and just because a mice gets sick doesn't mean that we do, right? And again, it's just another lie, lies, 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 lies all the time, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And sometimes I try to talk to people about Christianity in the midst of all of this. And I try to lead people to the fact that that is true. And it can be experienced as true once you receive the Holy Spirit, and you will start to see the world in a complete different light. And you will understand that all of this matrix system is basically running on satanic, on a satanic backdrop, on a satanic energy, on a satanic willpower behind it all. But when I say that, people, they kind of get confused because, or get, you say, what can you say, get agitated and get, annoyed on me when I say those kind of things, and usually start to go through all of the New Age programs about spirituality and how Christ consciousness is a real thing, and that is what we're supposed to talk about, and everything is consciousness and everything is energy and all of that, all of the same stuff that I was in 30 years. So I can't blame them. I believe firmly in all of that crap too once. It's just simply not true, and you will discover it along the way. Because we live in a time where truth has become lies and lies has become truth. But there's a simple way that anyone can be helped to arrive to the simple conclusion that God is real, Jesus Christ is real, and Satan is real. Or at least that all probability suggests that it's real. And here comes why and how you can figure out for yourself quite quickly that God is real, and that Satan is real. Just consider a few things. First of all, why is Hollywood completely, all Hollywood movies, or at least 90% of what you can find on Netflix these days, completely consumed by satanic symbolism? Why are there satanic symbolism in everything, in all of the movies? Why are most of the new films made the last 10 or 15 years profane towards the word of Jesus Christ and God, when they say God damn it and all that, all of the time? And why are they mocking Jesus Christ in so much of their content? Just a second, I'm going to take this sound off here. Why are all of these things happening? That's the first question. Why is Hollywood completely obsessed with satanic symbolism? Why is it on almost all covers and all films? Why? Why is the entire output in the Western media completely consumed by satanic content? There's a reason. But people don't think about that. Think about that. Why is all of the Hollywood output, everything that comes out from Hollywood, why is it satanic? Think about that for a while. Why is God's Son and God's name being profaned and ridiculed in so much content these days? Why is the New Age world, all of the New Age logics and stories, completely consumed with the idea of getting Jesus out of the way or reducing him to some sort of master, just like Buddha and stuff? Even though Jesus Christ said that I am the truth, the way, and the life. And no one comes to the Father but through me. So he's closing the argument already there. But yet, within the New Age, they're trying to get him completely out of the equation, or make him Christ consciousness, or Sananda, or some other satanic lie. Why is that going on? And why has the elite been caught red-handed more and more frequently with pedophilia rings? Why are they always so obsessed with pedophilia within the elite systems? Well, maybe it's because it's part of satanic practice. Why is the Roman Church absorbed with pedophilia and all of that dark stuff? Well, The Catholic Church is so with all of that because it's basically, in reality, it has nothing to do with Christianity. The Catholic faith and all of the symbols they're using, all of that, comes from the sun god and the moon goddess, back from the time of Nimrod. So it's all corrupted, it's all lies. The entire system, all of this matrix bullshit, it's a satanic deception, 90% of it. And that is the conclusion you will arrive at if you research for long enough and you wander long enough within all the glittering bullshit that is called the New Age. And eventually you will arrive, I'm sure, at a similar location as I have, and thank God more and more are arriving at. And that is this location where you find out that Jesus Christ is real. Always look for who is being haunted, who is being ridiculed in society, who is being diminished. What are we laughing of? Because that is a telltale sign to truth. In this corrupted day and age, you can find truth simply by having a look at what is the mainstream media either ignoring or ridiculing. What are the movies ridiculing? And what are they promoting? You need to understand that that is how these forces express themselves in this world. And once you start to look at just go into Netflix and look at all of the movies that has come out the last 10 years, you will see that most of them are jam-packed with satanic symbolism. And many movies are, as I mentioned before, are mocking Jesus Christ and all of that. Why mock someone who came here to save your soul? Why mock someone who came here to preach love between you, God, and your fellow man? Why mock a man like that? Why mock not only a man but the Son of God who came here to save people's souls? Why? But yet it's happening all of the time. All of the beauty, all of the purity that he represents is being ridiculed and talked about in most profane and perverted ways. And instead we have TV series shows today that are promoting Lucifer and promoting Satan. He's being promoted like a rock star. Also the music movies, all of the music scene is completely absorbed with it too. Satanic content everywhere. There are the occult TV shows with occult symbolism in the background that people doesn't even notice. Many of the big TV sports events, many of the the international music contests, all of that. Just look in the background of the symbolism, and you will see the one-seeing eye and satanic symbolism everywhere, everywhere. So Satan is basically giving it quite a go right now with everything he has, I think. Through media, through radiation of the population, through mass deception, through the movies, through alluring people within the elite, luring them into all of his trappings, usually greed or perverted sexuality and all of that. Everything that can make people go away from God and Jesus Christ and even seeking God, he's doing it, and especially in the elite, because if you control the minds of the elite and the souls of the elite, you control much of what is being delivered through the media. And once you control that, you control the narrative of the global population. And once you control the narrative of the global population, you control the world. You control what will take place here. So that's the way it works. There's this YouTube series called Know Your Enemy, which goes through all of this and in detail shows you how the world is controlled by satanic forces through which is in the Bible time was called the King of Tyre, was actually Satan, and under him is the Prince of Tyre, which is usually some earthly ruler, and under him are then all of the happy, normal people in the so-called elite and stuff, who don't always, many of them don't even know that they're working for Satan in that sense, but they're just absorbed by one of his trappings, usually the greed thing or the power thing, striving for money and striving for control and power. And through that, they get absorbed and they start to do his bidding without even knowing it, because they are following Satan's values for a human instead of God's values for human, which has some completely different values. That has to do with loving your fellow man, loving God, be humble, and try to be a righteous human, try to do good for everyone. You know it, you know all of it, you just forgot. And I guess I could close up my video with this, because that is also what the video started with. Everybody seems to have been forgetting what it's all about. So some of us are getting this choking feeling as we want to vomit when we look out onto the world. And I just really want to hear you and ask you if you know that. Am I the only one? Don't you ever feel like you want to puke simply by scrolling down on Facebook or any news outlet or any media outlet these days? Can't you see how fake it all is? How corrupted it all is? How satanic it all is? How deceitful? How greedy? How perverted? How far away from God and the message of Jesus Christ to love your fellow man and to love God and to be a good and righteous person? Can't you see how far away it's all strayed? Even within the New Age community, that always say, well, it's all about love, it's all about love, but it's not. I never met a New Ager where it's truly about love. They like to say so, but in reality it's all about me. It's all about the self. Me dealing with this, me ascending to that, me going through this issue, me calling in my spirit guides to achieve this and that, me, attracting this, attracting that, which again is just another form of greed, another way of performing greed. If I resonate with this sort of energy and stuff, then I attract this and I attract that. It's just greed again. Can't you see it's all lies? It's lies. It's deception, brother. It's deception, sister. Wake up. Snap out of it.